Happy New Year. We're starting the new year with this video, I guess. I am pretty sick today. I don't know if it's a flu or something very unexpected. I just got symptoms today, so.
Who are these army guys? They're taking over buildings, blocking off roads like they own the place.
It is situations like this where I am considering more and more of ditching my Nintendo Switch and going for something like a Steam Deck or an ROG Ally or something similar, because the fact that we have games that run this poorly, especially games that release X amount of years ago, is baffling to me. Now, I decided to browse through Amazon out of boredom, and I saw the Arkham trilogy was on sale for the Nintendo Switch, so I decided to jump to the eShop to find possibly a better deal for a digital version, and to my surprise, each 3 games of the Arkham trilogy was sold individually for $10 each. And I said, all right, let me jump into Arkham Knight and see whether or not it's as bad as people claim it is, or if it's gotten any better since its release. And of course, not surprising, it is not good at all and did not get any better.
Control, we have a militia explosive deployed near Grand Avenue.
Now, it's not that the entire game is a piece of crap. Let's get that out the way. It's really an issue when it comes to the Batmobile, and there's a couple of other issues that I go into with this video, but just keep in mind the majority of the issues come from driving the Batmobile throughout the city. Now, of course, with the Switch version of Arkham Knight and also the other 2 Arkham games, you have the option to play them portably if you want to take it on the go somewhere. And I did hear that the Arkham Asylum and Arkham City games run pretty well on the Switch, and Arkham Knight is the only one that has all the major issues. Now, of course, with a Switch port that you would see across the board with the other Switch ports, the graphics and visuals are much more downgraded. It's not going to look as amazing as it would on a much more powerful console, whether it's PS4, PS5, Xbox One, or Xbox Series. And I figured for $10, why not give it a try? But what's baffling to me is the fact that when I'm playing the game and I'm doing combat, for example, and Batman is bouncing around the screen, jumping left and right, beating up all of the bad guys, he seems to move pretty swiftly and quick as he would in the other consoles. Maybe not as fast to an exact point, maybe slightly slower given frame rate differences, but it's incredible that he can do that in combat. But when it comes to gliding and using the grapple gun, you start to see some stuttering here and there, especially with the gliding. You do have pretty incredible draw distance for this port, but you still have those crazy pop-ins that appear as you're gliding through the city. But it's really the Batmobile part of the game that has the most issues. It freezes up incredibly bad. We're talking maybe 5 or so frames per second, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. Even parts of the time where you're driving with your afterburner activated to go faster, and the game will stop for a second with the little bat logo on the side loading, letting you know that it's loading whatever you're trying to do, and it takes a couple seconds to get through. And I've seen some comments on other videos saying that it's unplayable, the game is completely unplayable, and that's not exactly true. You can play the game, it is playable to a point, and you are able to, eventually make it through the end of the game and go through whatever is challenging, which is going to be the Batmobile sections. Yes, it is very challenging for certain things with the Batmobile section, whether you're doing a AR challenge like a race or one of the Riddler races, or you're trying to take down the militia tanks. That's going to be a big issue when you're driving the Batmobile. But when you are in the tank mode and you're battling those tanks with your cannon, it doesn't move as poorly. And I guess that's because you're not really speeding through the city trying to get the Switch to load the visuals and the city as you drive. But as I said earlier, it is baffling to me that this is a kind of port that we have, especially it releasing towards the second half of 2024, and still no updates to fix these issues now that we are in 2025. And it makes me skeptical about the performance of the next Nintendo Switch, the Nintendo Switch successor, the Switch 2. And I know what you're going to say. I see a lot of comments saying the Switch 2 is going to run like this, it's going to perform this way, it's going to have these features and capabilities. And while there has been some speculations and some leaks, until Nintendo themselves comes out and verbatim and say this is what the Switch 2 is going to do for performance, this is what it'll do for visuals, until they say that for verbatim, no one knows a damn thing about what the Switch 2 looks like or what it would do in its final form. But even if it is capable of much improved performance, it is also up to the developer of the games to develop the game to utilize the power and the specs of the console. If the developers don't pony up and put in the work to make the game run as it should on that console, then they definitely is not going to make a difference whether you have a much more powerful console or not. You might see some difference in its ability to load the game and perform a little bit, but again, the developers have to really push their development to make the game run as it should on that console. Now, with this port of Arkham Knight, you do see quite a few other issues. You see various audio dialogues from the game that are completely cut out. What I mean is you will hear the different villains speak on the giant screen in Gotham, and they would have their normal threats to Batman, and sometimes you won't hear a single message from them despite seeing the subtitles presented on screen and even hearing the music that plays when the announcement is being activated. There's also some glitches. You might get stuck inside a wall. You might get stuck on one of the platforms that you can perch onto. The Batmobile will sometimes just flip around and crash. I've had one section that I wasn't recording at the time, but my Batmobile was basically twerking. If I can recreate the glitch, I would put it in the video, but I don't know if I can. So all these crazy bugs and glitches that's happening on the Switch. And again, it's baffling that this is what we have. Now, I can't confirm if the game runs better or poorly between handheld and docked. I think when it was in handheld, it performed a little bit better with the Batmobile sections, and on docked, it was much more poorly. And then I also compared playing it on a monitor and a TV, and I think playing on the TV with Game Optimizer on helped a little bit with the performance, but not by much. So you're still going to have those issues when it comes to driving the Batmobile and even the glitches that are in this port of the game. And it's unfortunate because Arkham Knight does have its flaws, but it is still a open world superhero game that, honestly, if it's not Lego, the Switch is kind of lacking in these open world superhero games. You're not going to see Spider-Man on the Nintendo Switch. You're not going to see an open world Superman game. So this is kind of like the only one that we have, with the exception of Arkham City. This is kind of like the only true open world superhero video game on Switch, and it sucks. And it's crazy that you have games like The Witcher 3, Nier Automata, the BioShock collection, the Borderlands collection, all ports on the Nintendo Switch that run perfectly compared to Batman Arkham Knight. And that's just really a bummer, and it's really unfortunate that this is what we got for Batman. So I'm hoping that they have a update planned, but considering WB lately, I highly doubt it. So luckily for me, I only paid $10 for Arkham Knight. I didn't spend $30 to $60, which is awesome. If it gets better, cool. $10 worth the purchase for the improvements. If it doesn't get any improvements at all, well, $10 is not a big loss in my opinion. So I am unhappy right now, and it's unfortunate that this has happened. But if you have another console, just play it on the other console if you don't care about playing portably, because you can find Arkham Knight digitally on sale for like $5 on PlayStation and Xbox. So and it's also it should still be on Game Pass as far as I know. So you have much better options out there to play. And like I said, if the Switch 2 doesn't perform as people are hoping, I might just go and go to Steam Deck instead. So yeah, that's my video for today. Happy New Year. We're starting the new year with this video, I guess. I am pretty sick today. I don't know if it's a flu or something very unexpected. I just got symptoms today, so I'm gonna finish up this video and get to bed. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think. Are you disappointed with this port of Arkham Knight? Are you waiting for an update? Are you certain that there won't be an update to fix this at all? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye for now.
Do I come in the Batcave, start messing with all your stuff?
You've managed to reduce the compound to its core elements.
But there's nothing in there that we can trace.
What if we'd been looking at this the wrong way? Instead of searching for the toxin, what if we focus on the manufacturing process?